Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Karen Quill Weinstein. People, I want to tell you all about giving donations to charities. Well, I have a friend I spoke to today at church. It's an Episcopalian church. I like it there. I'm making new friends. We talked about donations. One of the women, named Debbie, her husband did well financially, but she didn't receive the benefits of what it's like to be a volunteer at a place that needs money. I want to talk about people donating money. Rich people, middle class people. It's really well appreciated, the donations. It is a good feeling to donate money to charities in our country and even abroad. I want to talk about people who give their time and donate, and they feel God's love more than when they did actually have good financial jobs and live in a very positive environment. So I asked the question. To my significant other, my husband. I asked him, when a person donates $100,000, mind you, I'm thinking about the place called St. Jude's and the hospital. It's right there in Hollywood, California. And they do so well for the children who have medical concerns that can be quite debilitating. Not just to the body, but also to the soul. So, with that in mind, they send out donation letters, they send out donation people send out donations to them. And then I was talking to a group. There's a man and a woman arguing and yelling at each other very loudly. Instead of having a nice controlled discussion, the one ended up defending herself, and the other person was attacking her for what she had said. Not physically, just verbally, and he told her to leave. And she does this often because she doesn't know how to express herself, interpreting things. So I sat down, and it taught me something. It made me think about donations and the St. Jude Hospital. Because that's what they're talking about, St. Jude Hospital. And I said, these people have millions of dollars. They don't need any donations. So we think. But just think of this. If a rich person donates money, does the government have to reimburse them the full amount that they donated? And how does the country stay afloat, stay above budget, when they have to the people get a tax refund for donations? Yeah, what I like to say is, our donations are a tax deduction. So the thought came a little more for me when I talked to these people. I told them it's not, she was describing it as a scam because rich people actually wanted to pay for the children medical treatment. if they donate money, the rich donate money, then they are able to deduct it from the taxes. So the government pays for a lot of the charity to the donate money to charities. Right now, my husband, Dave Weinstein, is an accountant, and I'm going to let him explain to you how the government works when it comes to donation. If a person should donate $100,000, what happens to that money between the government and the individual who did the donation? Let me welcome my husband, Dave Weinstein. He's an accountant, has his own business. He works for himself. He's a member of the NATP with his organization in the state of Connecticut. And I like to brainstorm and discuss about charities and donations. Please welcome my husband, Dave Weinstein.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us today, Dave.
Anytime.
Anytime. He does do that. So, we were talking about donations, trying to figure out who benefits most from the donations. I think the charities. But let's talk to David about exactly where the money goes, how it's split up, if you give so much money to donations, how much is given to the people, how much are you able to deduct from your taxes. So Dave, you have the floor now. Tell us more about donations and charities.
Okay, well, if you assume, as you said before, somebody gives $100,000, most likely that person has a lot of income, so they'd be in the 30% tax bracket, which means they would give the $100,000 to the charity, and they would get a $100,000 deduction from their income on their tax return, which basically would be they'd pay $30,000 less in taxes. But the money will still go all to the charity. It's just the government's way of encouraging people to do the right thing. And that's if somebody is in the upper tax bracket. Say not that many people are in that bracket. The average person who may be in the 10 or 15% bracket, they're not given $100,000. Say they give $1,000 and they're in the 10% tax bracket, they would save $100 on their taxes. But they would still be giving money to these charities. And I think a lot of them, they go for the more middle income person who's in the 10 or 15% tax bracket. But I think majority of the people that give money to these charities are not so much interested in saving taxes. They want to do what's good for people. And the government is trying to encourage people to do what's good for people, to help its charities, whether it be, you mentioned it.
So the people who donate, they get how much, depending on, I know how much they donate, but what is the breakdown, what the government gets and the charity gets and the individual gets from tax deduction, please?
Well, the charity gets everything, and the person gets either a 30% or 10 or 15% deduction on their taxes. So the government theoretically is losing money, but people are doing good for others, which is one of the good things one of the few good things the government does is encourage people to do well. And in all honesty, a lot of the middle income people do not itemize their deductions, so it really tax-wise does not make that big of a difference, but it just makes people feel good, and it does help the charities a lot. And if the government is losing a little bit on taxes, I mean, if you look at that hospital, a lot of people that go there, maybe, they get all their care taken care of by the charities as opposed to having insurance companies cover it, or if people didn't have money, the government would cover it for them. So in the long run, it is a good thing. And if it makes you feel good, that's even better.
I have another idea. Alright, but first, so it's a win-win situation for everyone who donates any amount. And we make a difference with giving out donations and receiving donations. My friend Debbie, we were talking to her today at church, and she said her and her husband had good financial, they would have lots of money, and now they were, both her and her husband retired, and they're still young. And she took on a job to work at a food bank. She loves it. It's like food to the soul. Giving your time, helping the needy, helps herself become a better person and to love herself more. It's a really good feeling to help someone, to give them food, water, things like that. I go to a food bank once every couple of months, and it helps me a lot. And not to worry about any of the foods being outdated. They let you know you have the choice whether you want to take something that is outdated. But don't worry, it's only a few items that are outdated, and you have a choice whether you want to take it or not. They do a great job. They're helping a lot of people. Maybe they just need that extra 1 week's supply of food and other items to make it through the month or the next payment, next paycheck. So she is working at a food bank. She is thrilled. She loves it more than when she was making good money at her employment. She is really a happy person, and she really feels as though it touches her heart in a nice way. So let's take that one step more. The government set this program up for all of us so we can help each other. I'm proud to be an American where people help people who help themselves. And remember, don't give out any more money than you can afford. You don't want to be poor and be in the need. You want to make sure yourself and your family are taken care of first. And if you choose to donate, then so be it. You'll be at a higher level, higher vibrational level. So that's why our government wants us to feel good about ourselves. Debbie becomes a higher level being. She's just so happy. Another man, he likes cooking food for people, and he passes it out to people who are in need. He's on top of the world. He was so happy. Thank you to our government. Maybe the people in government need to learn how good it feels to donate for services they do for other people. The benefits are amazing when you provide volunteer work and you provide for people in need. She loves her life much more. No stress, no aggravation, just reaps the benefits, the good feeling of doing good for another. Now let's take it one step further, because remember we usually say the rich should give donations more? Yes, I agree with that. But we gotta find out a way so that the government doesn't have to give so much, or reduce the number of taxes they receive for people who give donations and are being deductions from a tax return. I think that's a pretty nice government that does that. So in return, this is a solution that I came up with, Dave, and that is it possible to give back in such a way where we donate to the government?
Yeah. If you
Who would win-win in that situation?
The government. You can always, if you want to make a donation to the government, you can. It doesn't happen often, but you can pay more taxes if you'd like. They'll
Can
take
you-
it.
if a person does that, can they say, I want to give this to the people who are have medical concerns and medical issues with the thinking and the mental health concerns? Can you direct your money that you're donating to the government to ask them what that towards a certain group of people?
I guess so, or you could just give the money directly to that group. You know, the National Institute of Mental Health, or whatever they call it. You can give them money directly without going to the government. Go directly to them so you know that they get it.
Yes.
And
yes.
who knows if you give it to the government and ask them to do it. I don't know if they would go do what you want, but you give money directly to them.
All right. If you give $1 million to the government, then you're not getting that tax break.
No.
So that government doesn't have to pay how much out of the 100% of donation you give?
About 30% will be reducted.
Then the government's saving themselves 30%.
Yeah.
And they're getting the full amount.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to deduct it on your tax return. You know, if you don't want the government to, if you don't want to pay $30,000 less in taxes, you don't have to put it down. You can just do it out of the goodness of your heart and still pay your full tax amount. There's no law that says you have to take a deduction that you don't want to.
I don't think I take the deduction anymore.
No.
I don't donate all that much, but I don't put on my taxes.
No. You don't have to. It's your choice.
And with the government being so good to the people, and they're talking about shutting down the government for a certain period of time with no money, just think, if the government receives donations, then they can really help even more people, they themselves. And all those politicians donating.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Say if the government shut down, instead of all the congressmen getting paid, say, okay, the congressman, you don't get paid, but your money goes to a charity until you get the government running again. I mean, personally, I think that would prevent the government from shutting down, just telling the congressmen they don't get paid. Unfortunately, they do get paid if the government shuts down.
Say that one more time.
But have them take their, say if the government shuts down,
Right.
instead of their pay going to them, make their pay go to a charity.
I think
Everybody wins.
I think exactly.
Yeah.
And I think by the politicians donating and get to feel that good feeling, that warm, fluffy feeling of giving to the need. And maybe they won't be so miserable and harsh amongst each other.
It's worth a try.
David, thank you for being with me today, brainstorming about donations.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Have a nice evening. Be good, do good, stay good by donating. Let your light shine. Thank you.